We're standing right on the edge of a new era, one that's being defined by technology so powerful they honestly feel like magic. But what if all that magic comes with a price we're just not ready to pay? That is the deeply unsettling question at the very heart of the book, The Coming Wave by Mustafa Suleyman. Now, this is a guy who co-founded DeepMind. He's a true AI pioneer, and surprisingly, he calls himself an optimist. But even he is sounding a very, very serious alarm.
Just think back for a second. Remember the first time you used a piece of tech that just felt like the future? For Suleyman, it was his first PC, hearing that screech of a dial-up modem that opened up this whole new universe of knowledge. For so many of us, it's that exact same feeling of wonder, right? Technology has always been our engine of progress, the force that has consistently, made our lives better.
Okay, but this is where the record scratches. The story takes this really sharp, unsettling turn. This is not your typical techno-utopian fairy tale. The Coming Wave asks a question that's honestly kind of chilling. What happens when the next big thing in tech isn't just another upgrade, but a fundamental shift in who holds the power? What if it's so potent and so easy for anyone to get that it just completely overwhelms all the systems we've built to keep ourselves safe?
All right, so the Coming Wave arrives. What exactly is this wave he's talking about? Let's dive in and see what's really coming for us. So here's the thing. It's not just one technology. Think of it more like a perfect storm, a collision of two of the most powerful forces humans have ever created: artificial intelligence and synthetic biology. Now, we all kind of get AI, right? It's about making machines that can think. But synthetic biology, that's a whole other level. We're not just talking about reading and editing DNA anymore. We're talking about writing the code of life from scratch. And when you smash those two things together, whoa, you get this absolute tidal wave of new capabilities we have never seen before.
So let's put this in perspective. Think about something like the car. To build one, you needed massive factories, tons of money, and it took decades for it to spread everywhere. This new wave, it's completely different. It's not built on steel and rubber, it's built on information. It's just code and DNA. And what can you do with information? You can copy it, you can share it instantly with anyone, anywhere. That makes it, pretty much impossible to control.
And if you're wondering what's pushing this all forward so fast, the answer is simple: money. A lot of money. Check out this number, $15.7 trillion. That's what some experts think AI alone could add to the global economy by 2030. When there's that much cash on the table, the pressure to just keep pushing ahead, no matter the risks, is absolutely immense. It's basically unstoppable.
Okay, so all of this leads us to the real heart of the issue. And honestly, it's maybe the most terrifying challenge we face. He calls it the containment problem. And I know what you're thinking because it's the obvious question, right? If this stuff is so dangerous, why don't we just, stop? Can't we just all agree to pause, to hit the brakes before this gets out of hand?
Well, that's a nice idea, but the problem is, history tells us it just doesn't work. I mean, look at this. We've got popes trying to ban the crossbow, Queen Elizabeth I saying no thanks to a new knitting machine, even the Ottoman Empire banning the printing press for almost 300 years. The lesson here is pretty darn clear. Once a technology is out there, you can't just stuff the genie back in the bottle.
But wait, you might say, what about nukes? We managed to contain them, didn't we? Well, according to Suleyman, that comparison is actually a false comfort. Think about it. To build a nuclear bomb, you need super rare materials like uranium-235. You need billions of dollars, a whole nation-state behind you. Now compare that to AI and synthetic biology. You can run a powerful AI model on a $50 PC. You can buy DIY biokits online for a couple grand. This isn't a state-level thing anymore. The power has been democratized.
And here's the kicker. Even our supposed success story with containment, nuclear weapons, is a complete horror show when you look closely. The history is just one chilling story after another of accidents, near misses, and misunderstandings that brought us to the brink of total annihilation. If that's our best-case scenario, we should be really, really worried. So, all of this builds up to what the book calls an impossible choice. And this is the dilemma that he thinks is going to define our entire century. Okay, so to understand this choice, we have to talk about something called the grand bargain. Basically, for hundreds of years, we've had this deal with the state. We, the citizens, agree to let the government have a monopoly on violence. Have armies, police, all that stuff. And in return, the state promises to keep us safe, to keep order. It's the fundamental building block of our entire society. But this coming wave, it just completely shatters that deal. For the first time ever, the kind of power that used to belong only to superpowers is now accessible to small groups
or even a single person. Think about it. One bad actor with synthetic biology could cook up a new pandemic. A terrorist group could launch autonomous cyber attacks. Open source AI and DIY biokits are empowering anyone, including the worst kinds of people. Suddenly, the state is losing its monopoly on force, and that changes absolutely everything.
And this is the impossible choice. This is the corner we're being backed into. To stop the bad guys, do we have to create a world of total pervasive surveillance where everything we do is watched? Or do we just let it all happen and risk a world of complete chaos? A surveillance state or a failed state? That's the choice, and it's a terrible one.
So I know, that sounds incredibly bleak. But the book doesn't just leave us there in despair. It actually tries to chart a path forward. A narrow one, for sure, but a path for how we might survive this. Look, there's no magic bullet here. Instead, what he suggests is a kind of layered defense. Step 1, we have to build a serious safety culture in tech. Think about the airline industry. They treat every single accident as a lesson for everyone. We need that same first do no harm mindset. Step 2 is about building technical guardrails. Things like constantly trying to break our own systems, what they call red teaming, to find the flaws before the bad guys do. And finally, step 3, we absolutely have to have global cooperation. We need to get technologists and nations talking, using the institutions we already have to try and govern this wave.
So in the end, the coming wave isn't just a warning, it's a call to action. It's a really urgent plea for all of us to wake up and look at the world we're creating. Because the stakes, well, they couldn't be higher. This wave is coming, whether we like it or not, and figuring out how to ride it is the challenge of our lifetime. As the book so powerfully puts it, the prize is nothing less than the secure long-term flourishing of our precious species. And that is for sure worth fighting for.